We're here today with Mike Mullins, designer of Bottom of the Ninth, Pentaquark, and a whole bunch of solo variants.
Welcome to Design Diary, the podcast where you get to look inside my board game design notebook as well as what's going on inside my head. We look at a new word each day from the sense of mechanics, tone, theme, or inspiration for a full game. Today's word is...
Stanch.
Stanch.
All right, Mike, so here's where I ask you, what do you got for this?
Well, we have to define staunch, so it's to somehow stop the flow of blood, typically from a wound, right? So my first idea is I want to come pitch you a giant like Phil Eklund biology mega game where you're managing things macroscopically, like you can get bandages and all sorts of stuff, and then you have to organize the fibronectin and the coagulant factors and all sorts of stuff. But I thought you would run for the hills screaming if I pitched that one. So I have something different for you for Staunch.
You lost me at Eklund.
Oh man, I just recently got those games from the Kickstarter, and I mean it's right up my alley. But I know I could chase you off with them. All right, so here's my real pitch for you for Staunch. You are trying to staunch the flow of your opponent's points. Okay, so basically at the start of the game, they're going to rack up points, like 100 points around, let's say, and so are you. Okay, so over the course of the game, you are trying to stop them from getting points. And so every round, they're going to keep racking up points, more and more points. And I do love the whole points as... victory points as currency, so you'll spend some of the points that you accumulate. And I
you love that? That's cool. Because
my gosh, I love it's one. Some people hate it. It's like,
I know people
my
do.
Victory points, and I personally, it's just an instant value added to decisions when you have to decide how to use those points. So the idea that I was trying to think about is in what case, how would you stop the flow of points? So I thought of like some sort of tinkerer's competition or inventor's competition, where basically like you have what amounts to a Plinko board and I have what amounts to a Plinko board. They're little tableaus, right? And let's say there's 5 columns and I don't know, 4 or 5 rows. And so at the start of the game, your Plinko ball, you're going to drop 1 in each row. It's going to fall straight down because there's no obstructions and land in 5 cups. And let's say it's 20 points apiece. So bam, with no interference, we drop these 5 things down, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, and you get 100 points around, okay?
Yeah.
Now, we'll start with some money, some victory points, money, whatever, and we're going to buy stuff to mess with each other's tableaus. So the basic things you can buy are little walls, right? So, okay, I want to put this diagonal wall here in row 1. Now it's going to put all these things into row 2. And then maybe I can somehow put a piece that's going to capture and incinerate the balls that are falling in row 2, or maybe I'll change the cup in row 2 so its value 0 points or something like that. So like I'm going to keep messing with your Plinko machine and trying to screw it up and staunch the flow of points into your receptacles at the bottom.
I love it. That's really cool. I think
So
the fact that you're doing mine is the cool thing, and you're not doing your own.
Yeah, certainly, you would have to be some control. So, you buy an upgrade and you make your 4th column worth 30 points, or you make one like you double the adjacent column or something like that. And, you should have some control over yours. It's not just like completely watching yourself get shut off, And then I was thinking about, so kind of going back to the word itself and like thinking about like trying to staunch a wound, right? If you put a bandage on there on a wound, but then it seeps through, like you didn't do a good enough job or you didn't apply enough pressure or whatever. So I thought about if some of the things you buy, like, okay, I buy this blockade and this just like straight up, obliterates a ball that drops there or points or whatever, whatever. But in 3 rounds, that thing is destroyed. Or I could put it diagonally, which would divert the ball, but it would be permanent. It wouldn't get destroyed. So it's like I could do like a stopgap that just like completely destroys it, the points, or I could like divert them or something, lots of different funky ways. And, then you can theme it up with instead of just like moving it to the left, this is a little blower, and so like you could counter it with a blower on the other side, or different ways to track how those points are falling down in the receptacles.
That's really cool. That's super cool. I like the whole. Where'd you come up with the whole Plinko thing? How did you?
Well, so like I said, I started with my biology idea.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, even if like I'm a biology guy, but like you're literally talking about blood pouring out of a wound, so I was like, it's a little icky, let's say.
That's a good word.
So then I thought, okay, well, what else could have blood flow? And I was like, oh, well, you could be vampires at a blood bank. And I was like, still kind of grisly. And I was like, all right, what about if we were trying to like plug a leaking dam or dike? And so then I was just thinking about like the blood flow or water flow or whatever, and like trying to divert it. And so as soon as I like mentally pictured that being diverted left and right and like going into the right spots, I just saw a Plinko board or something going left, right, left, falling in a cup, So once I had the Plinko idea, then it was like, oh, now I'm screwing with your Plinko, like,
yeah.
So many games are, build your engines as opposed to try to mess up somebody's like 100 point per round generating engine,
Yeah, exactly. At one point, I almost had my father-in-law was a auctioneer, and they had Plinko, I don't even know what you call it, Plinko machines, I guess, at the auction, and I always wanted one. I ended up with a slot machine, but I wanted the Plinko machine.
Yeah, really, that's the runner-up to that story is the slot machine. That Plinko thing would be awesome.
Yeah.
I still don't know how you haven't had like a game based on that auction house that you used to work on the back of. That thing was awesome.
I don't know, but we went to dinner the other night. My father-in-law was wearing Tom Cruise's jacket that went through the auction, screen worn and signed from some film, and he was just wearing it to dinner.
Did you have to staunch the flow of autograph hounds that were coming to ask him for autographs?
I think we were going to talk about staunch the flow of his belly to fit into it.
No, not quite that mean.
I tried to get a photo and only got the back, but the front was a Metallica shirt and the Tom Cruise jacket. It was the best.
That's spectacular.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was really cool. I think I didn't even say anything, but this was the very first guest on the very first guest episode.
Well, of course I was the first guest. That's the only reason I agreed to do it. You had to make me feel important enough. I do want to thank you for having me. This is a very, very cool idea.
Yeah, and I think you set the bar high enough that we can just end it. So we're done. This was the
lovely
first and last episode. No, but it definitely is a solid bar, and I'm going into my own recordings and thinking about basically every day is just how can I improve as a designer through this, and how can I make it improve as a podcaster through it, and everything, and this was super good. So thank you for bringing
absolutely
me.
Thanks for having me.
So tell me your how can people find you? That's probably something we should do on these.
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good idea. I'm at Blue Devil Duke on Twitter, so I'm easy to reach there if I ever check Twitter,
So mention them if you want them to check it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I need to. I'll probably not see it unless I see the @ so.
Or if it's a whoopie pie.
Or Moon Pie.
Moon Pie, sorry.
Moon Pie, that Twitter account is the best.
It really is. I mean, we were just talking about that, and it is wild. So check it out, and then when you're done, check out Blue Devil Duke.
Yeah, I mean, if you could talk to me or a marshmallow sandwich on the internet, I mean, really, it's a no-brainer. You talk to the marshmallow sandwich.
All right, we'll end on that. So thank you. See you next time.